What's up, guys? James Miller here, coming at you with our new episode of Out of the Park Baseball with the Seattle Mariners. And I can never get that intro just right, But we're going to run it and we're going to have a good time. In this episode, we're going through just the beginning part. We probably are going to get all the way to the draft, but quick recap, we made our roster just a little bit different, but more or less it's the same. We have Brian Wu, Zach Gallen, Cade Horton, Bryce Miller, and Marcelo Perez as our 5 starters. Then we have Andres Munoz, Mason Miller, Ryan Walker as our big 3 in the back end. We have Griffin Jacks, AJ Minter, Jeremiah Estrada, and Cole Sands as the guys in the middle. And just in case, Alek Manoah is another able-bodied veteran that's going to be able to be 6 starters style person. We also have Keegan Akin and his last year of his contract being our lefty specialist. Lineups wise is looking very similar to last year, except for one major change. 2 major changes actually, but we have Cole Young leading off, Julio Rodriguez batting second, Yordan Alvarez batting third, Cal Riley batting fourth, Pete Alonso batting fifth, Willier Abreu batting sixth, Carlos Correa batting 7th, Bo Bichette batting 8th, and Stephen Kwan rounding out versus right-handed pitching. Versus left-handed pitching, we do a little bit of jumbling around, but we also have Zach Levinson batting in left field, being the other half of the platoon between him and Stephen Kwan. We have Easton Carmichael being called up finally. He has earned it. Look at him over the last few years. I mean, he was league average, but he works his tail off. He has a good bat here. He's a backup first baseman style guy. And then we have Lizardo Espinoza, who's just kind of the GOAT defensive minded player. Last year in Tacoma, he did all right for us. I guess he was hurt the entire year. Let's see. Oblique strain, hurt. Let's see. Claimed off waivers. Torn labrum, missed 8 months. So not a true year of development for him, but he is going to be absolutely awesome in the outfield and at second and shortstop. He can probably get thrown in at third base as well. Not a first baseman, not a catcher, but he can hit a little bit of left-handed pitching, so he may end up batting at taking away hitting from Cole Young playing second base, because he doesn't have the greatest ratings versus left-handed batters, but whatever. Also within our organization, we have a lot of depth in AAA, ready to come up if necessary. We have Tavian Josenberger. We have Connolly Early. Patrick Forbes is almost ready to make his debut. That's going to be awesome. We do need to see how he does in AAA this year, though. Patrick Forbes is also being a two-way player, which is great. I think he could already come up as a spot starter / long reliever. We have a couple of minor league signings. Brian Abreu, he did not accept a demotion, so we released him and then re-signed him on a minor league contract, and now he's in the minor leagues. Cole Reagans, we just can't quit you. He signed on a minor league contract with us, so just some more depth. Franklin Arias is there. Harrison Bader is there. Brandon Fott. Like, we have the definition of a quad A team. Also, Christian Little's ready to be called up. We're trying to see how Dean Livingston and Nestor Cafe pitch. Like, we are almost ready to start calling up a bunch of our own players to the major leagues, and it is exciting to see where we're at. Also, over the last episode, went ahead and actually took a shot at, hey, here's where we're at with minor leaguers. We actually went through, combed through, made sure that there was no one who was in a place they weren't supposed to be. People with there were some people that are just here as depth and filler. We are going to have to start being really diligent about filling out our minor leagues and bringing people through both the international complex as well as drafting well. Looking at our international complex, we are going to have a couple of people move up here pretty soon. We got a couple of 18-year-olds. We have Jose Bonilla as the top of our contract, right, or top of our lineup right now as far as batters. Ramon Carbajal as well, who was an international free agent signing, who looks like he's going to be decent. Ricky DeLira, also an international free agent signing, looks like he's going to be a really decent outfielder with a okay bat. And then a couple of other scouting discoveries. This guy looks like he's going to be a potential awesome player. Yeah, we just need to start pushing some of our depth through quicker. Have a couple of decent pitchers. Javier Ruiz looks like he's going to be really decent, great personality. Also potentially could be a two-way player. Doubt it. And then I think that's it as far as major prospects. But overall, what are we trying to do this year? The biggest goal that we're going to do is we're trying to get back to the World Series. And I think this roster has what it takes to do it. So, like I say all the time, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's go ahead and jump into the first year of, well, first year, not first year, the first games of the season and jump into, what is it, 2027, 2028? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. It is 2028, April 1st of 2028. Let's keep doing it. Let's get on and let's see where we're at. And just like that, we're through the month of April. Not a good start of the season. We are already 5 games back of the division. Notable, it's the Astros, who we are chasing at the moment. Losing 2 out of 3 to them was not good, but let's see where the problems lie. So first off, the Pythagorean record says that we should be 15-13, so we're playing 2 below. At home, we're doing great. On the road, we're terrible. Extra innings, we've lost. 1-run games, we've lost. So what's the problem? Well, our offense is terrible. Looking at it, being 11th in the AL is on a team that's supposed to be one of the best, if not the best, in the AL is terrible. Decent pitching, so because we're not scoring runs, it's not happening. So let's look at this lineup and figure out what the heck is going on. Yordan's doing Yordan things. Cal Riley's doing great. Bo Bichette's doing all right. Stephen Kwan is hitting his weight. So the rest of it is Pete Alonso's sucking. Cole Young's okay. No, just everyone's doing bad. So much so, in fact, like, we might need to switch up a little bit with what's going on here. Like, I think we move Julio Rodriguez out of the 5-hole. We move Carlos Rodriguez there. Julio Rodriguez is going to drop down to 6. Bo Bichette is hitting well, so Bo Bichette actually... No, let's leave Bo Bichette alone. He's exhausted, too. Wow. This is just bad. Is there a split that's killing us? Versus left-handed pitching, I mean, we're doing well against left-handers. Versus right-handers, it looks like that's where we're struggling. Yeah, Bo Bichette, Cole Young, Pete Alonso, Carlos Correa, everyone's doing bad against right-handers. So we just need to start hitting right-handers better, and we'll be all right. We want to look at pitching stats here. Overall, let's see. The people who've been pitching in limited stints are doing good. Bryce Miller is struggling. Well, no, he's not really struggling. Oh, because we have splits. Let's take away splits. That looks better. So Andreas Munoz, Keegan Akin, Jeremiah Estrada, Alek Manoah are struggling. Oh, shoot. We forgot to call up Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen, yep. Let's let him get one more start. No, we're going to call him back up. And who are we going to call him up for? Do we send down Jeremiah Estrada, Keegan Akin, Marcelo Perez? Honestly, I think we sit down. We demote No. Let's demote. I'm going to demote Marcelo Perez just to get him more pitching time down there. Zach Gallen's coming back up because he has been good. Zach Gallen should be good to pitch tomorrow. Yes. Yep. He should be good to pitch tomorrow. So he is going to pitch tomorrow. And I mean, there's nothing that I can do. I just need to play out the next month and we'll go from there. Well, looking at May, it was a little bit better of a month, but not a step in the direction that we wanted to. Overall, looking at the team stats, Pythagorean record, we should be 32-24. Extra inning games were 1-3. One run games were 6-12. And that's because, again, the offense is not doing what it needs to do. Again, let's look at it. I mean, Yordan Alvarez, Cal Riley, Pete Alonso are doing exactly what they need to do. It's the rest of the players, the Carlos Correa, Bo Bichette, Julio Rodriguez, Willier Abreu, and Zach Levinson are not doing what they need to do. Zach Levinson is playing so bad, in fact, that I'm debating on sending him down. In fact, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to demote him to AAA, and like, I don't know where to go from here. Is there a guy batting? How is he doing? Oh, he's having a breakout season, apparently. So we're calling up Tavian. And Tavian is going to be our left fielder. He might actually be our center fielder. You know what? Yeah, he is. He's going to be our center fielder. And Julio, you're going to have to learn right field. And Willier Abreu. No. We're going to have Stephen Kwan hit because Stephen Kwan is doing all right. Willier Abreu has lost his spot in right field because he's doing terribly. And he might be the guy that we look to move on from and get something out of. Get another bat in this lineup that we can get because, man, this pitching deserves better. Connolly Early is kind of struggling. Cade Horton's struggling a little bit. But Zach Gallen, Griffin Jacks, AJ Minter, everyone's doing their part. Jeremiah Estrada and Andres Munoz are kind of struggling. It's... I don't know, man. I don't know. I think what I'm actually going to do is I am going to slot Griffin Jackson to the closer role. Andres Munoz is going to go into his setup role, 8th inning or later. And Mason Miller is going to go into a stopper/closer role as well. Until Andres Munoz can figure it out, he's going to stay there. Everyone else is pitching well. Jeremiah Estrada could be better. Cade Horton looks like he's had a couple of bad starts. Connolly Early might be... I don't know. We might be making room to get Connolly Early into the bullpen, and it might be time for a Patrick Forbes who is pitching out of his mind in AAA. He's about to be called up here pretty soon. How is Dean Livingston doing? Dean Livingston, he's also pitching pretty well. Not to the same extent, but I think these are two guys that may find themselves as part of September call-ups. And we are through the month of June. I think it was a much better month. Looking at it, though, we had some wins. We had some losses, wins and loss, wins and loss, wins and loss. But we're first in the AL West, which is decent. Our Pythagorean record says that we should be 49-35, but we're 43-41. We're even at home. We're 2 wins better on the road. This month in June, we went 14-14. Batting is turning around a little bit. Pitching is doing great. 6th in ERA with a 3.8 is insane. I think it's time to start making some changes. So looking at pitching, I think Bryce Miller might be shopped. Zach Gallen, he's pitching great. Brian Wu, pitching great. Connolly Early, wouldn't mind moving him to the bullpen. And I think it's time that we try to retool this team. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can make some changes. I know where we're struggling now. I know what we're doing now. It's time to get rid of some guys as well. Carlos Correa and Bo Bichette are just kind of meh. Willier Abreu is terrible. Tavian Josenberger is meh. I need to get another offensive player in this lineup to be kind of another big bopping guy. I thought Pete Alonso was going to be it, but he hasn't been it. Cole Young is turning it around. Julio Rodriguez is turning it around. Cal Riley and Yordan Alvarez are just amazing. But we're going to see if we can get one bat to supplant this lineup and maybe flip our bullpen on its head as well to see if we can make some changes there. So I'll be right back. All right, we have made a lot of trades. So buckle up. Here we go. Number one, we got Lars Nootbaar. He is going to take place he's going to take place of right field or first base or left field. I just needed the bat. He is absolutely doing a great job with the bat. He is nothing to speak defensively, but we have him under contract for the next 2 years, being completely covered by the St. Louis Cardinals. We gave up a depth center fielder for us. He was doing all right in AAA, but he was never going to crack the big leagues. And we had to give up Andres Munoz. Andres Munoz was not pitching to his usual self. We were not going to retain him after this year, so I thought we might as well get value out of him now. Next, we got rid of two of the biggest pieces that were struggling for us. So we got rid of Wilyer Abreu and Carlos Correa. We also got rid of Cole Sands, Marcelo Perez, and Blaze Alexander, all for Joey Ortiz and Brent Hedrick. As you can see, Brent Hedrick is already back on his team. That's because I decided, you know what, I didn't really need him. I just threw him in the trade to make it work. And I traded half of Jesus Luzardo and Kai Maramatsu for Brent Hedrick. And I call that a no harm, no foul. So looking at it right now, Jesus Luzardo slots into the long relief left-handed pitching role. He will be the next guy up. If early starts struggling, Luzardo's going to switch spots with him. It's that simple. On top of that, we have called up Nestor Cafe. He had been shoving in AAA, so it's like, why not? We needed a bullpen pitcher up, so let's go ahead and get him on the team. He's going to be number 71. That's fine. Lineups-wise, we have a little bit to discuss here. Because obviously Joey Ortiz is going to come in and play shortstop. He's going to bat kind of low in the lineup. And then Lars Nootbaar is going to come in and be the number 5 hitter. But, I mean, I guess Stephen Kwan is going to slot over to right field. Lars Nootbaar is going to slot over in the left. And then we're going to have... let's look. Oh, we're going to have Joey Ortiz slot in versus left-handed pitchers there. And I want to also say split versus lefties. Julio Rodriguez. Tavian's actually doing great against lefties. Lars Nootbaar is also hitting good against lefties. Stephen Kwan is not, so actually we are going to have Stephen Kwan be platooning right field with basically Tavian Josenberger. How are we doing versus right-handed pitching? Tavian struggling. Julio, meh. Stephen Kwan's just, in general, not doing all right. So hopefully Stephen Kwan can turn it around. If not, he's a guy who can just be kind of a left-handed mercenary off the bench for us. But Pete Alonso also needs to start stepping it up. Bo Bichette really needs to step it up for us. He's not even in a part of the lineup that needs to struggle or that is struggling. We're going to move Julio Rodriguez back up in the lineup. We're going to have Cal Riley bat 4th, but actually I think I'm going to keep Cal Riley batting 2nd, Julio batting 4th, just because I want our best overall hitters coming in, and Cole Young has started to turn it around. So let's just go ahead and continue up to the first-year player draft and get it started. Let's start drafting our future, and hopefully our future looks bright. And already looking like we did some really decent stuff over the last little bit. Don't even know what type of words those were. But real quick, I just wanted to take a look at what we did to start the month. Yeah, we're just on a 5-game winning streak to start the month. So sometimes it just takes a little bit of tinkering to say, hey, y'all better start winning. And as soon as Alek Manoah goes down, But that's okay, because you know who we're going to call up? I think it might be time to call up. Yeah, it might be time to call up Patrick Forbes. No, he's not pitching too hot anymore. Dean Livingston pitching better. Dean Livingston's pitching to 113. We're gonna let them stay the rest of the year down here. I'm not seeing like a surefire slam dunk pitcher to call up, you know? I mean, Luis Velasquez is probably going to be the guy to call up. Um, you know what? He's not going to win Rookie of the Year. He has 80 innings under his belt in AAA. Let's go ahead and call up Patrick Forbes. Patrick Forbes is going to come in, be our long reliever. And if you look here, we might see him. No, he's not there. But we are going to have Patrick Forbes under strategy. Is there US uses two-way player? Yeah, it's uses two-way player. So why didn't I see him in the lineups? Oh, there he is. He's right there in the middle. Setting him to left field. I mean, he's not great, but he's a guy who is going to do some pretty decent damage, and we're just going to let him do his thing. Patrick Forbes, welcome to the show. Defensive sub only, but hey, nice to have him, you know? And real quick, just going to go ahead and generate depth chart, because I realize I haven't generated depth charts at all. So there we go. We are here in the first round of the MLB player draft, and we are already on the clock, and we are going to go ahead and take this guy, Roberto Caraballo, is how I'm going to assume that we're going to pronounce that name. The mock draft has us taking Gary Kirby, which again, he looks great, but he really is going to be slotted in at first and third. Whereas this guy gives us the potential to have an actual shortstop. He's next up on the draft pool. Where is he supposed to go? He's supposed to go in the top of the second round, so I feel good about going ahead and drafting him. Let's go ahead and pick him up. And look at that. In the second round, we are able to draft Gary Kirby because he dropped, and let's just go ahead and get him. With our third pick, we are going to pick Dennis Evanoff. With our fourth pick, we are going to pick Eduardo Santana, Mr. Chino. With our fifth pick, we are going to pick Sal Alvarado. With our sixth pick, we are going to pick Jesus Sabio. With our seventh pick, we will be picking Alex Massacre Velez. With our eighth pick, we are going to be picking Craig Jamesy Kraft. With our ninth round pick, we are going to pick up Cole Bills, a junior out of Dallas Baptist University. He just looks really decent. I like the left-handed pitcher. I love the personality class. He's already great at all the peripherals. If we can just make sure that control gets activated, he's going to be great. So, yeah. And with our fifth pick, and with our 10th pick of the first-year player draft, we're going to pick up Jason Smith. Again, sorry for dogs in the background, but looks decent. Looks like he's going to have an average bat, good speed, great personality class. Maybe not the best defense, but I think he's going to be a good pickup for us regardless. With our 11th pick, we're going to pick up Chris Schwab, or Schaub, whatever his name is. I like his above average contact. I like his high work ethic, low financial ambition. Not the biggest fan of his defense, not the biggest fan of his stealing and stuff, but overall has a good bat. Like, let's go ahead and draft him. With the 12th pick of our draft, we are going to pick up Greg Toporzer. We're going to call him Greg Top. So Greg Top here, left-handed pitcher, high leader, already looks like he could potentially develop into a pretty good guy for us. Only going to be a bullpen player, but again, it's a area of need in our farm system. Next guy we're going to pick up is another reliever. It is Aaron Van Soest. Went to Stephen F. Austin, which is a university near me in East Texas. But, I mean, he's kind of already a little bit developed. He's going to have a good fastball slider combo. The one thing about him is he is going to be significantly more efficient against right-handed players instead of left-handed players. Could be a guy that we train up just to be a defensive replacement. I don't know. But overall, I like his peripherals. If he ends up being a 50 overall reliever for us, he could be useful. With our 14th pick, we are going to pick up Eric Wohl. He looks absolutely awesome in terms of personality, high leader, high loyalty, high work ethic, low financial ambition. He's got good contact. I don't think he's going to be anything other than organizational depth and a good personality to have in our lower minors. With him, how old is he? He's 18. He's probably not going to make it more than 23 for us, but hey, just a great guy to kind of have in our lower minors. And sometimes guys just kind of fall into your lap. This was the first guy that I checked on immediately after that, and I kind of like the look at him. He's okay as a catcher, but I like that bat. He's got low financial ambition. Overall in high school, he did all right in average competition level. High average. Very, very, very high average. Hit lots of doubles apparently, but this is the kind of guy that I'm trying to get in my system. So we're going to go ahead and draft Matt Ridgway over our 15th pick. So with our 16th pick, we are picking up Santos Flores. He does not look like a good contact bat at all. He has great speed, not a great personality, but look at this defensive profile. He's going to be an absolutely astounding right fielder for us, potential center fielder. Legitimately did okay in his fair competition, got better every single year. His OBP dropped going from year 2 to year 3, but he played the full season, hit a bunch of doubles, hit some home runs, struck out a lot, but hey, that's kind of what we're going to get in this lower area of drafting. But I think this guy is going to be really decent for us. 70 range, 70 arm. Absolutely love it. So Santo Flores, welcome to the squad. Next guy we are going to pick up is Luis Rodriguez. Luis Rodriguez has an average bat, no speed to speak of, but the guy can catch. The guy has a great personality. This is exactly another type of guy that we're trying to pick up. All right. Taking a flyer on this guy, Nick Bates. Ground baller, great personality, will not have the best stuff at all, but I just want to see if he can do anything in particular. He overall did okay as a pitcher in his conference. Left-handed guy, we're just going to take a flyer. 18th round pick, I'm taking an absolute flyer on this guy. His name's Rashad Hayes. He goes to Stanford University. Great competition level. And when we look at it, his average has been in the 200s, like not amazing. OBP in the 300s, okay. Slugging in the 5s for 2 of his years. OPS at the 900, 800s. Like, this is a guy who can hit the ball a little bit. OSA is nowhere near as high as our scout is, but development risk low, great personality, decent infielder, not going to be a shortstop, but definitely a second baseman, guy who can throw the glove around. Decent speed, like, I like the look of this guy. I like the rating, the stats on him, so we are going to take a flyer on him. And I've been thinking about taking this guy for the longest time, but this guy is a third baseman at most. Played 1 year of college at Louisiana State University Eunice. great program, but actually was kind of goated. You know what? Yeah, we're going to take a flyer on Bubba Calandra. So let's go ahead and look at this draft. This is just the easiest way that I've been able to find it. Our first overall pick was Roberto Caraballo. Again, looks absolutely awesome. Gonna be maybe a second baseman shortstop, but probably is going to slot over at third base just with that slightly lower range, great infield error and arm. Next guy we ended up getting was Gary Kirby, a third baseman, because his bat is just insane if it develops. Also had good-ish personality. Third guy that we got was Dennis Evanoff, who just looks like a pretty run-of-the-mill solid pitcher. As long as that control goes, we're going to be good. Loved getting him. Eduardo Santana, great defensive infielder. Looks like he's going to be a decent guy. Next guy was Sal Alvarado. Again, we're focusing a little bit more on getting some bullpen help. He looks like a guy who could potentially already slot into the bullpen, throwing 96 to 98. Awesome. The rest of this draft I'm going to kind of breeze through. Got Jesus Sabio, Alex Velez. Alex Velez looks great. Craig Kraft, great catcher, decent personality. Then got Cole Bills, Jason Smith, Matt Ridgway, Eric Wohl, Aaron Von Soest, Greg Top, Chris Schwab, Santos Flores, Luis Rodriguez, Nick Bates, Rashad Hayes, and Bubba Calandra. Overall, I'm pretty excited with that draft. If we go ahead and look at negotiating with draftees, I knew that we drafted Cole Bills and Jason Smith. They wanted $650K. That's very easy for us to offer because we didn't really go crazy with our slots, with our stuff. Getting Gary Kirby and 74th overall is absolutely insane. If we wouldn't have picked him up, we wouldn't have been able to get Roberto Caraballo, who also looks insane. I'm very excited for this draft class because I think it's one of the better draft classes we've had. With that being said, we are going to jump into and try and get all the way. Ooh, that's something I needed to look at. We only have 21 players in AAA, so let me work some magic and I'll be right back. All right, so we have the lineups fixed. It took me quite a bit, but hey, it was something that needed to happen. We need to figure out a way to let Ethan Moore come up because, oh my God, this guy's raking. There's just no room for shortstops. So it's going to be one of those things that he's just going to have to play the entire year in AA, and then he'll eventually get up to AAA because the man just does not strike out. He walks a lot, and he's been able to start putting it together. So just wanted to give a highlight to Ethan Moore. Jonathan Kim's also putting it together. The AA team is looking really good. They are the only minor league team that is doing good. So jumping back into it, we're going to go ahead real quick and go all the way to the All-Star teams being announced. That's not what we like to see. That's actually a very, very, very big blow. So we're going to put him on the injured list. And then Pete Alonso is also out. Yikes. Oh no, we lost both of our first basemen. So give me a second. I'll be right back. So first and foremost, we have sent Tavian Josenberger back down. He's just been terrible in the 28 games that we've played, and we honestly cannot have him in the lineup. We are going to call up Zach Levinson again because it looks like he has been able to put it back together just a little bit more in AAA. So we're going to call him up. We are going to call up a minor league signing of Nolan Jones because he is in 17 games absolutely raking, and we need a first baseman. And so far, what that will do is it will look like this. Number 1, Nolan Jones is going to slot in. A little bit later, we're going to move Julio to 2. Cal Riley is going to slot up to 3 for both teams. Nolan Jones is going to play first base, bat 5th. Lars Nootbaar is actually doing crazy, so we're going to slot him up to 5th. Joey Ortiz is starting to streak a little bit. So what we're going to do, actually, is we're going to have Joey Ortiz bat there. And then we can have a DH. And I'm thinking Zach Levinson is going to be our right-handed bat playing DH. Is he a better fielder than Lars Nootbaar? No, he's not. Okay, so he's going to be DHing. Can Lars play first base? Yes, he can. So Lars is going to slot over to first base, and he is going to play left field. How about that? And it looks like I might need to go figure out one more bat to kind of put this lineup together, especially while we have 2 bats down for 2 weeks. I mean, we're going to have Jordan slot right back into DH, so that's going to be no problem. But maybe look to replace that right-handed bat of Pete Alonso real quick. I'm just going to go see what I can do. Well, here we are again. We're making another large trade. This one is kind of weird. So we are going to be trading away Lars Nootbaar, which he's going to be a free agent in 2 years. Again, he was not really... He's getting paid for, like, he's a decent player. Looking at his stats this year with us, in 8 games that we've had him, he's hit absolutely awesome, but it's just because he's hit a couple of nukes and walked a lot. And I'm just kind of like, I don't see the big upside of him. Whereas Corbin Carroll hasn't really been awful at hitting. He needs to just get on base. We are getting them to retain 50% of it, of the contract for the next 3 years. So yeah, I am kind of just saying, we roll out at midnight, let's send it. So getting Corbin Carroll is also maybe going to throw a little bit of an extra wrench in the plans, because that's another guy who we are probably struggling with. Corbin Carroll, where is he? Okay, so he's batting average versus lefties, slightly below average versus righties. Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to put together this lineup, and I'll be right back. All right. So we're just going to kind of roll out the same lineup every single day. The biggest thing is Nolan Jones is going to bat 5-hole versus righties, and then he's going to slot down to 7-hole versus lefties. Rich Hernandez, Lizardo Espinoza, who's just here as a defensive replacement because he has hit very putridly for us. And yeah, those are going to be the 2 guys on the bench for now. I think we could call up another infielder, so that's actually what I'm going to do. We already have 14 pitchers, so having a 15th really wouldn't do much work. All right, I've made my decision. We are going to call up Wang Sai. He's hit well over his last 3 years, and what that's going to let us do is it's going to let us call up Ethan Moore here, Jonathan Kim here. And I think there was one more guy I needed to call up, but I don't think so. Maybe a first baseman if we have a first baseman. We really don't. So, yeah, I'll just let him figure it out. I think Trey Faltine. Yeah, we'll call up Trey Faltine as well. Don't really have the bandwidth to call up batters from here, so I'm going to go through real quick and see if there's anyone that I should be calling up. All right, so we have made our final adjustments to our lineups. We have called up Wang Tsai. He's just been kind of raking in AAA for the last 2 years. Or he's been raking in AAA last year. He was in AA the year before that and did all right. Or no, just this year he's kind of raked his way up. So excuse me. And we're just going to put an extra spark plug into the lineup and just see what he can do. Just kind of as an extra infielder, might give us a little bit more pop off the bench rather than Lizardo Espinoza. He's our first pinch hitter off the bench, so that actually says a lot. Yeah, I'm excited to see where we go, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump all the way to the American League National League All-Star Game is what it's called, and I'm just going to keep you guys here for this, and hopefully we can get this season turned around, which, I mean, that's a great way to end the month of July right before the break. You just rip off a one-loss month so far. Like, look at that. A one-loss month. 13-1 so far this month. That is the team that we wanted to get back to. Look at this pitching. Look at this team pitching. My God. And then finally, we're starting to turn the bats around, so hopefully we figured something out. But before I go, I already know that we need to look at the All-Star Game rosters. So All-Star-wise, looking at it, kind of our usual suspects, I think. Yeah, we have Julio Rodriguez there. I don't see anyone else in the outfield who would be there for us. Surprised. Yeah, okay. Yordan Alvarez. I was about to say, I'm surprised I don't see Yordan Alvarez. Cal Riley is there. Mason Miller is there. Brian Wu is there. What all-star number is that for him? All-star number 2. So good job, Brian Wu. We might have to make him a Seattle Mariner for life. Yeah, doesn't want to talk about an extension, but he's just been awesome in the front of that rotation for us. Looking at it, George Kirby is still pitching very well with Boston. So obviously, us making that trade after 2025 may have been a little short-sighted. But at the same time, like, didn't do great the year after that. Kind of put it together the year after that, and then this year is really the year that he is putting it together. Looking at his contract, though, yeah, signed a $22 million. Wow. 6 years, $128 million is kind of crazy. So not exactly worried about that. Looking at it as well, let's look at the National League. I know there's a couple of guys on that we have sent over that may maybe a all-star as well. I'm not seeing any. Oh, Lars Nootbaar. Yeah, we traded him over, but he was also doing great with Seattle. Did okay for us, and then kind of flipped him back over. Other than that, I really don't see. Oh, he's already got 33 home runs. Oh my goodness. This was the guy who I wanted to target as our third base replacement, but he's also on pace for 223 strikeouts. To me, I find that unplayable. So do with that what you will. That's insane. Wow. Wow. All right, and then let's look for the prospect games rosters. So we had Dean Livingston, who's pitching okay in AAA. He's not going to be called up this year. He absolutely will be called up next year. And we had Daniel Lamelli, who I don't know if I mentioned this. I've sent both him and Romero back down because they were getting a little bit overmatched, and I think I was rushing them up, and I'd rather them make sure that they develop fully before they get pushed up any farther. I'm definitely rushing them to the show, and I don't need to do it. So, yeah, that's where we're going to end it with this episode. Overall, great deal. Kind of already got a new look team again. Corbin Carroll's going to be leading off for us, and it looks like he has not been doing great in that leadoff role. That sucks. But it looks like Bo Bichette might be turning it around. Yeah, a little bit. Zach Levinson's turning it around a little bit. Stephen Kwan's been a great signing. Joey Ortiz has been a revelation. He's batting almost 400 for us since we brought him in. Love that. And then, yeah, Nolan Jones, Cal Riley, Julio Rodriguez are doing the darn thing. So, yeah, let's just keep it rolling. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, and take